When I was 10, I would go on an app called Chattis that matched you with people nearby. I ended up talking to a guy who I thought was my age. I was literally the dumbest fucking kid possible, and I didn't think twice about giving this random fucking stranger my address when he asked me for it. He stopped texting, so I went to bed. But the next day after school I got a slip that said I was going to be picked up by my dad. But I literally never met my goddamn dad, so I was confused. I went out to the parking lot and this guy came up to me and said he was my dad, and I looked this motherfucker right in the face and believed him with no proof. I hopped my happy ass into his car thinking I was going to have a fun day with him. My mom came to pick me up like normal and spotted my fat ass quickly. He got out of there so quick I still didn't realize what was happening. My mom called me on my phone and was like, "Where the fuck are you?" And I was like, "What do you mean I'm with my dad?" And he started screaming at me saying we were going to surprise my mom, so I hung up. He drove 2 hours from my school before they called. Thank you to the real bitches who were concerned about me. To the people that left mean comments, it doesn't bother me, but those comments make people not want to stand up and share their stories, so please have some motherfucking empathy. Anyways, here's part 2, whores. So my fake ass dad drove 2 hours away from my school, and after I hung up my phone he took it. At this point I was getting a little nervous now that common fucking sense was running through my head. I could tell he was getting nervous too because he started to speed and he started to get really angry and violent. He sped past a cop and luckily was pulled over. He told me that if the cop asked I had to say he was my dad. I have a fear of cops, so I immediately started ugly crying like a bitch, and I thought I would go to jail if I lied. He asked me if I knew the man and I said that he told me he was my dad, and I could tell the guy was about to shit his pants because he couldn't form a complete sentence, so the cop thought this was sus. The cop took me from him and I called my mom bawling my fucking eyes out until she came. Guys, thanks for the love on my story. This is actually my story, not somebody else's that I'm telling. I won't be using my account to post other people's story. I'm sorry, but I will gladly listen if you have something traumatizing to talk about. Love y'all, bad bleeps. As I said, I was a dumb as hell kid, and yes, I was taught about stranger danger and all of that, but I truly never believed people could be that bad. I was extremely naive and gullible, period, sis. So here is part 3. Not much else happened other than my mom trying to beat the living shit out of this man as she should. She took my phone and went through it, and let me tell you, I'm surprised she didn't put me back up for adoption. She was so angry but just took my shit away and basically watched my every move for a while afterwards. That's basically it. But let me tell you, that was not the last time I used Chattis. That is a whole other story, LMAO. When I was 6, my mom brought me to a water park for my camp. About an hour later, the lifeguards realized someone shit in the pool, so they gathered all of the kids and took them into the bathroom individually. There the female and male lifeguards pulled down our pants and touched our booty holes to see if they could catch the person who pooped. Then when it was my turn to get checked, they pulled me into the restroom and one of the older male lifeguards stuck his finger in my booty hole. Then he fingered me, and to this day I haven't told anyone about it. Have a good day. So one time I went with my mom to drop off a fucking scarecrow at my cousin's house. Cause for some weird ass reason my aunt wanted one chile anyway, so my cousin, who was probably 11 at the time while I was 7, wanted me to come to his room to play. I saw that he had a bunk bed in his room and got excited cause I had always wanted one when I was younger, so I climbed on top and went under the sheets, but he climbed up as well and also came under the sheets with me. He got hella close to me and pushed my hair behind my ear like some Debbie Ryan type shit, then wrapped his arms around me and told me to kiss him. Like, bitch, no, we're cousins, and last time I checked neither one of us was born in Alabama. I told him nobody begged me to, even if it was just on the cheek, but I got the fuck out that bitch cause he started to feel my shit up. I just hoped he forgot about what happened, but I sure as hell didn't. So when I was 7 years old, I had a sleepover with a good friend, and my mom put a tampon in my bag, but I didn't know what that was back then. So I asked my friend if she knew what it was. She said it's something for your. So then she asked me if we can try it, but I said no. So then she kept asking, and I kept saying no. So then she said, if you don't do it, we are not friends anymore. So then I said yes because I still wanted to be friends with her. So then she tried to put it in my pussy, and then her dad came in. He screamed, "What are you guys doing?" So I was scared.
So I work as a cashier at a Target. We always get Karens there and it's really fucking annoying. But let me tell you guys about this one time this rotten banana cocoa puff triangle head ass Phineas from Phineas and Ferb looking ass old woman got on my fucking nerves. While she was checking out, I asked her how her day was and she gave a fucking attitude. The bitch didn't even look up. She gave me some expired coupons from 2019. I wanted to laugh out loud, but I told her nicely that they were expired. She called me an imbecile and that I needed to check again. I wanted to slap the shit out of her and send her to fucking Jupiter. After it didn't work 3 times, she got the manager like a typical Karen. I don't know why she made such a big deal. Just pay for your $3 shampoo. She probably didn't even wash her hair. That nest looked nappy from a mile away. My boss explained the coupons weren't valid. She legit grabbed her shopping cart and pushed it to the wall and stomped out the store. When I was 13, I was at the mall with my dumbass sister who was 11. We were chilling in the food court before this dude comes up and places a couple chocolate bars on our table. Obviously we didn't know what to do with it, so we ignored it. Then he comes back again with his homies and they were like, he wants you all snap, and eats the bar of candy in front of us to prove that they were not trying to poison us. It didn't help the fact that they looked like they were in high school. At the time, I was in middle school and my sister was a whole-ass elementary student. He was asking for both of our snaps like, bro, not only do you look dumb as fuck for hitting on kids, but you want the bloodline too. Anyways, they continued bothering us until my sister had enough and walked away. They kept yelling for us to look back. Anyways, Ben, you're a pedophile and you look like a muskrat. If you see this, you weren't the brightest for that.
We are a pretty wealthy family and my dad has always loved cooking. He's a professional chef and he's finished university with a hospitality degree. He was going to open up a restaurant and it would be like a family business. He was going to sell like sandwiches and pizzas and fries and stuff, but he was struggling for a name. I said WAP as a joke for wraps and pizza and he loved it. He made renovation plans and I tried to talk him out of it so badly but he said no. So we are now launching the grand opening of our new restaurant WAP. One time I had a really itchy kazala kazaka hoochula poochula zakaka kakaka kalachacha chazakala pazachula zachapachula chatacha. I couldn't scratch it because I had a really tight skirt on. I sharpened my pencil and started to scratch my kazala kazaka hoochula poochula zakaka kakaka kalachacha chazakala pazachula zachapachula chatacha with it, but the lead tip snapped right inside of my kazala kazaka hoochula poochula zakaka kakaka lachacha chazakala pazachula zachapachula chatacha. I started panicking thinking what if I got lead poisoning, so in front of everyone I shoved my hand right inside my kazala kazaka hoochula poochula zakaka kakaka lachacha chazakala pazachula zachapachula chatacha and started digging for the lead tip. I got suspended. One time my great-grandma was really sick in hospital because she was like 98 years old. My mom was crying and taking pictures of her on the hospital bed and putting them up on Facebook. She told me she can't think of a caption and I said to write WAP. She looked confused and said, "What do you mean?" I said it means wish and pray and she said that's exactly what she wants. She put up a picture of my great-grandma and captioned it, "We're all whopping for you, great-granny. We will whop for you day and night. If you don't make it through this we will still whop for you forever." She then posted it and I realized how big what I did is. My uncle saw the post and angrily called my mom and was yelling at her saying why the F would she post something like that. My mom started yelling back saying it means wish and pray. I started crying because I caused a family fight and then I heard my uncle tell her what it really means. My mom hung up and turned around to me and she started hitting me with her heel and she took the post down. Child anyway, so I had a really bad asshole ache and it would bleed every time I wiped. My mom took me to the doctor and she examined my ass, and while she was examining I did the most aggressive, powerful, weather-changing shit so forceful the windows rattled and things were falling off the shelves. I turned around to see the doctor's head covered and dripping in my diarrhea and I had corn so there were kernels in her hair. My mom gasped and her first instinct was to take a picture for some reason and then the doctor started crying and ran out. The test came back the next day and I have bowel cancer. I haven't been to the toilet in 4 days and it was starting to worry me, so I went to the doctor's. I arrived and the doctor felt my stomach and said it was very hard. He wanted me to take a stool sample, which means you have to shit in the cup. I had coffee for breakfast so I was pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the cup and went to the toilet and held it up to my ass and started fishing. I didn't realize how badly coffee affected me and the next thing you know a strong gust of diarrhea started blasting out of my ass and I felt like a rocket ready for takeoff. I grabbed onto the door for balance because I started levitating and the cup was already full but I couldn't stop. I was holding onto the door for dear life and the shit was spitting out like a shotgun. I eventually stopped and looked at the glass cup of my shit and there were cracks all over the glass. I heard the desk lady shouting for everyone to get under the chair and to call the police. I got scared thinking what is going on outside, so I quickly cleaned myself up and rushed out of the bathroom to see everyone crying and hiding under the chairs because they thought there was an active shooter in the building. I said it was just my shit and everyone got up. Anyways, I have bowel cancer.